Believe it or not, the developers of this game have some pretty good humor, and a lot of the different names of different items in this game and the animations were influenced by some of the most distinct content that we humans have ever created and seen. So in this video, I'm gonna go over a portion of the in-game references there are in Apex Legends. You would be surprised how much this game was influenced by other things other than Apex Legends. The Gaming Merchant has talked about a few of these things during the video, and Titan Gaming has talked about a lot of these things I'm gonna be talking about during the video, so credit to them. I'm Alarmix, let's get into the video. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about, there's a Tom Cruise movie called Edge of Tomorrow. There's this really cool scene where he's all geared up, and he's running around the inside of this crater shooting. So this scene looks really cool, but let me play this clip from the Season 3 launch trailer. So as you see, these might just be a little bit similar, or exactly the same. So this is obviously influenced. This scene where Gibby is running around the inside of the crater shooting, this is obviously influenced by the Tom Cruise scene. I think the reason that Respawn chose to reference this, first of all, it's a really sweet scene, and second of all, Tom Cruise kind of looks like Gibby in this scene while he's all geared up. When you see these trailers for Apex Legends made by Respawn, you guys probably already knew this, but most of the time, the things in the trailers, they obviously go way deeper than it originally looks. It hints at the things coming to the future of Apex Legends, and also apparently there's a bunch of in-game references with these, so we're gonna move on now. Now I'm gonna play a clip from the famous 1987 film Predator. I'm gonna say the beginning of this clip out loud because I can't actually show it to you guys. He says a naughty word. This is Sergeant Blaine Cooper. He named his minigun Old Painless. So at the beginning of this clip, he says, "Come on in, you bleeps." He's looking for the Predator alien right here because he thought he heard the alien, and it turns out it was just a little animal in the bush. And then this dude was like, "Oh, okay, it was just an animal in the bush I heard." And then he gets shot by a laser beam in the back.
Old Painless is waiting.
But anyways, Bangalore's line of "come on in, Old Painless is waiting" is a reference to this movie clip. So yeah, that is a pretty dope reference right there. Moving on to Caustic, the evil scientist that likes to see people die with his gas. He has a banner frame that's called Hard Knocks Life. So quickly for y'all, I'm gonna play a clip from the musical Annie.
It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us.
So I'm sure our boy Caustic would really enjoy that musical if he got the chance to watch it. I'm pretty sure that most of the in-game references are pretty applicable to that character, or the moods of the two things that are being connected by Respawn kind of makes sense, you know what I'm talking about. But in this case, Hard Knocks Life, our evil boy Caustic being referenced to a bunch of orphan girls singing. This is an instance where we can see the developers, I mean, they have a pretty decent personality. Now we're gonna talk about this really sweet Octane skin. This skin is called XLR8. XLR8 is kind of short for accelerate. This is a reference to a Ben 10 alien that Ben 10 can transform into. This alien in Ben 10, I had no clue. I've never watched Ben 10 in my life, but I looked up a clip. Apparently this guy is super fast. That's why he's called Accelerate. And that would make a lot of sense because Octane is the fast, aggressive legend. So that's a pretty cool in-game reference there. There's this Gibraltar skin called Brudda Bear. This is influenced by the 2003 Disney film Brother Bear. This makes sense for Gibby because he's a big boy, first of all, you know. I guess he's kind of the shape of a bear. And you know, second of all, Gibby, he's always using the brother terms. I'm down, brudda. Need help. For this next one, I'm gonna roll this famous clip of a news reporter that fell victim to live television. So I just spent about 10 minutes laughing at this clip. It took me a while to build up the courage to talk right now without laughing. The guy in the background of that poor news reporter, if you didn't know, he was running exactly like Wraith does. But fun fact, he did not mean to reference Wraith. This absolute legend was running like Naruto, the anime show. I hope I said Naruto right. I was Googling how to say Naruto because in one of my previous videos, I said Naruto. I found this really cool video about this guy dressed in a fox costume. For 1 minute, he teaches you how to say Naruto. And for the other 3 minutes, he rips apart people like me that can't say it right. So people, this is very interesting. I'll put a link in the description so after this video, you can go watch that if you want to be entertained for 4 minutes. But I think that's how you say it, Naruto. I got ripped apart in the comment section of my last video where I tried to say that. But yes, people, Wraith running, it's a straight up reference to Naruto. You know, that'd be pretty cool if Wraith running was a straight up reference of that news reporter clip. I mean, me personally, I think that'd be 1,000 times more epic. But people, while you're watching this video, if you think of any other in-game references that I haven't mentioned, put it in the comments below of this video, because if I get an overwhelming number of comments of in-game references that I missed, I might might feature your comment in a part 2 of this video, but that's only if this video does super well. So to make sure that this video does super well, give this video a like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I might do a part 2 to the in-game reference video. Our next reference involves Lifeline and her London Calling skin. So London Calling, it's an old punk rock song from 1979. The different lyrics in this song, it kind of just talks about different ways that a bunch of people could die or Earth itself could come to an end. It talks about things like nuclear attacks, how the Thames River over in London could flood and then London could basically be submerged in water. But most of all, it kind of talks about war and how a bunch of people could die in war. And Lifeline is a combat medic. So that's probably the reference here. London Calling was a phrase that was used to countries that were occupied by Great Britain. So just kind of the whole death thing and Lifeline being anti-death. That's probably how the developers meant to implement this reference. So there's this anime series called One Punch Man, and one of the villains in this series, the name on this character is Sonic. I'll throw up a picture on screen for you guys here, but if you cannot tell, this kind of looks exactly like Wraith. So Wraith's artwork in general itself could be inspired by this anime series. It seems like the developers at Respawn, they are definitely anime fans. Now I'm going to talk about this in-game reference. I think it's pretty well known. In the Shadowfall LTM, you had Revenant before he was released voicing it over. One of his lines was nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And if we go take a look at the Titanfall 2 campaign, you're playing as Cooper and you eventually end up playing against this boss known as Viper. Viper comes flying up and he says, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Apex Legends obviously takes place in the Titanfall universe, so it's pretty cool to see here that they're carrying on the legendary tradition of the epic game Titanfall. So going a little while back in time now, during the Winter Express LTM, Mirage had a line where he called off First Blood, so I'll play that line for you here now.
First blood. No, that was the scary Halloween voice. Let me try my Santa voice. First blood. Nailed it.
So it almost sounds like he's trying to mimic Revenant a little bit by acting all dark and epic, or however you want to describe it. But there's a very strong chance that he's actually referencing at the 1999 game Unreal Tournament. So I'll play the voice for you here.
First blood. First blood.
So it does seem that Mirage is trying to nail the First Blood from Unreal Tournament, and I mean, he does an okay job of that. Now we're going to talk about this Ranked Platinum badge. So the Ranked Series 2 Platinum badge, I have it while I'm cool. It's called You're Tearing Me Apart. So it's time for story time once again, people. So Tommy Wiseau, he made the movie The Room. So he directed it, produced it, wrote it, and he starred in his own movie. Tommy Wiseau's 2003 movie became super famous for just how terrible it was. Like, we're talking about Rotten Tomatoes rating this at 25%. So I'm gonna play a scene from this movie that this Ranked Series 2 Platinum badge references to.
You are lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
So apparently this line became pretty famous. You're lying, I never hit you. You're tearing me apart, Lisa! So there's this Mirage folk hero skin. From the looks of it, it's a quite obvious reference to Iron Man, but where this folk hero name comes from, it's probably from Endgame. I'm not gonna say what happens in Avengers Endgame, because I might spoil one of the better movies ever for just a small percentage of my audience that hasn't watched it yet, but we'll just say Iron Man did some folk hero stuff. So Gibraltar, he has a roll out banner pose. Roll out, this is a reference to the Transformers. You know when Optimus Prime says Transformers roll out. The developers for this game, they do have a little bit of history with the Transformers. So back in 2014 for Titanfall, they had a little bit of a prank April Fool's DLC trailer. They had Optimus Prime in here in all of his made up glory. They made a whole new animated Optimus Prime just for the April Fool's prank. They even had a little bit of lore behind it in the trailer. So the IMC and the Frontier Militia, they were in a war, right? So one of the sides, they were like, there have been so many casualties during this war and it'll be so hard to win this war. So we have to take towards the stars to find someone to help us with this war. And then Optimus Prime comes flying in to crash the party. I can only imagine the people who played Titanfall at the time if they actually thought this was a prank at first. That probably would have been a pretty great time and place to be playing Titanfall. So next, I'm gonna talk about the Wraith Airship Assassin skin. skin. The Wraith Airship Assassin skin is a incredibly rare skin in Apex Legends. I talked about it during my rare skins video, so subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos just like that. But this skin was certainly forged under the influence of steampunk. Now steampunk, I don't personally know much about it, but I did my research so I could educate you guys on it. Steampunk is apparently a sci-fi alternate reality that takes place in the future, and in this future they never really figured out the advanced technology that we have today. So this is a timeline where in fact steam power prevailed. So this skin that you're looking at, this is kind of the styling that they have in this steampunk sci-fi alternate reality. So I thought this was a pretty cool in-game reference. Our next item on the list, this reference comes from Overwatch. So there's a hero in Overwatch called Bastion. I think that's how you say it. He is a robot like Pathfinder, and he has a bird sidekick. So in the Pathfinder pose for the banner, he has one that's called For the Birds. And in this pose, poor Pathfinder gets attacked by the bird. This is certainly a reference to Overwatch, where the robot has a bird friend. Except here in Apex Legends, in this banner, Pathfinder's bird friend really isn't a bird and he gets attacked. I wonder if this is just a slightest nod from Respawn that, yes, Overwatch, we see you and we'll probably never be as good as you, or something like that. I don't know. That's just a thought. There's this Mirage banner frame called Hothead. I'll show it to you guys. It turns out I have this for whatever reason. I just happen to have this banner frame. In the bottom left, it's a reference to Home Alone when Harry gets his head caught on fire. And in the top right, the froze guy, it's a reference to the Shining movie. I've never seen that before in my life. Maybe I should, I don't know. But Home Alone was always one of my favorite movies, I guess. So I thought that was pretty cool that I just happen to have this banner. But people, if we go look at this close-up Pathfinder banner pose, I'll show it to you guys. At first, it looks like he's swinging through the air, and then he hits the glass. So while he's swinging through the air, it almost looks like Spider-Man, right? That's right. From the original Spider-Man movie, where Peter was learning how to swing. I'll show you guys this movie clip. I mean, this certainly is a reference to that scene in the movie. And people, with this banner pose, at the end of it, you can see Pathfinder with his thumbs up. My Discord administrator, Darky, he added this as an emoji in my Discord server. So people, go join my Discord server, and there I have my face reveal. There's people looking for games in the LFG tabs, and also sometimes I'll just drop into the general hangout voice chat. So people, it's a lot of fun in my Discord server. Go join that. Like I said before, like, subscribe for me to do another in-game reference video, and if I do another in-game reference video, I'll use some comments from this video. So if you want to be in an in-game reference video, if I do make another, put in the comments section an in-game reference you have seen before, because you may be featured in an upcoming video. And that'll be about it for me, the Alarmix, and I'll see you guys later.